If you asked me the best time to position a business for grants, I would say July to August. But that's my personal opinion. The next best time, however, to position your business to win grants will be after watching this video. So let's go to class. Welcome to class. My name is Vivian Uwakwe, and today I'm here to teach you how to position your business now to win the next wave of grants in Nigeria. Who am I and what authority do I have to teach you about this? I am a children's picture book author and illustrator, but beyond all that, I am the founder of Yanga Toons Limited, a company bootstrapped from scratch in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, to help other authors illustrate and publish their own children's picture books. I am also left-brained and right-brained because prior to coming into the creative sector, I was into business consulting, and much before that, I had banking experience. Yanga Toons Limited was opened up to grant funding in 2025, and we made 3 shortlists. I have taken several grant courses. I have also done a lot of personal research and invested very much in my grant funding. I also run 2 private brainstorming groups, and I'm glad to say one of the groups had 100% success, where all the participants of that particular group won grants. Now that we've gotten the introduction out of the way, I'm going to run you through what we're going to do today. First of all, I'm going to tell you who grants are not for. Next, I'm going to teach you how to structure your company. You're going to learn how to properly incorporate your company. You're going to learn how to properly open an account for your company and the correct kind of account to open. Next is that I'm going to teach you how to go about your tax compliance, because tax compliance is very, very huge in Nigeria right now. The hot button will be pressed by 2026. After this, I'm going to take you through documentation. You're going to learn how to do your business plan, a bit about your financial projections and how you can get help for that. After that, I'm going to tell you the documents you need to assemble before you ever open a grant application. Next, we're going to talk about how to strengthen your social media presence to be able to attract grant opportunities. Then I'm going to handhold you on how to actually find grants. So I'm going to touch a bit on visual art inclined businesses. So businesses essentially run by visual artists. You might be able to pick a thing or two about what you're doing wrong, what you should do more of, and what you should probably discard totally. Even new things to introduce to your business. Then I'm going to talk on other kinds of businesses, green businesses, tech businesses, IT businesses, etc. I'm going to teach you how to apply, because finding grants is one thing, applying is another. I'm going to show you how to align your request. This is very crucial. You must watch this part of the video. How to align your request to match with the grants, with the grant form, essentially. I'm going to tell you what a shortlist is. I'm going to tell you how to increase your chances of being shortlisted. I'm going to tell you what happens after a shortlist. I'm going to tell you a little about mandatory trainings you might be expected to participate in if you are shortlisted for a grant. Then we go on to the actual grant disbursement, what you do after you win the grant, what if you don't win, how to manage your expectations. And then we conclude. When we conclude, I'll give you links to where you could get more knowledge. I'm going to give you links to upcoming videos, and I'm also going to give you a link to 2 books. One contains about 160 business grants that are open to Nigerians at various times of the year. And the second one is what I consider the best book ever produced in Nigeria about grants. You could use this book should be a guide to handhold you from the beginning to the end. It should be in every business person's library, even if you don't even want to win grants. It will help you tremendously structure your business. So let's move along. So what exactly are grants? Now you have this business, you go into a certain capacity and you need more funds to push it on. Or you have just this idea for a business, but you know this business needs capital to establish it. You could do 2 things. You could go get a loan. You could ask family and friends for money. You could ask an institution like a bank for money. You could also be like part of a cooperative, like a pseudo finance company and or organization, and get money. Those forms of capital are debt. They need to be repaid after a certain period, and some of them might not be debt. They might not need to be repaid, but people could ask for a share of your company. They could ask for 20% of the share holding of your company. They could ask for 50. They could even ask for more. But grants are equity funding. You get them, you don't never need to repay them back, and you never need to let go any part of your business to get grants. That is why they are hugely popular and highly contested. There is a difference between scholarships, fellowships, accelerators, I could name a bit more, and grants. If you look at them critically, they could be a form of lesser grants, but they are not entirely grants. Scholarships are essentially available to you to acquire knowledge or certifications in a certain field. It could be awarded by an individual, an organization, or government. Fellowships are you coming together with scholars or people with similar interests to achieve a certain goal, a certain recognition on an intellectual level. Accelerators, on the other hand, are trainings. Some of them come with grants, some of them don't. I actually believe most of them don't, but they handhold you on how to structure your business. And sometimes when you finish accelerators, you might just say to yourself, my business doesn't actually need any grants or any loans. Maybe I just need to do X, Y, and Z, do this, that. So they are an eye-opener, and they create an aha moment for many business owners. Now, let's be very clear on this. Grants are not for everyone. Maybe you will be able to identify yourselves in the categories of people I'm going to mention. First of all, if you have rich uncles and aunts, you don't need grants. You know those kind of rich uncles, like they have 1 million naira that they are not using for anything, according to files. You don't need grants. Just ask your rich uncles, you will get it. I'm saying this because not everybody has the same reality. Some people have cushioned lives. Money is not their problem. Funding is not their problem. They have access, and that access gives them anything they want. If you're one of those, grants are definitely not worth your time, because you will not be motivated to put the work to get the grant when you could only pick a phone call and the funds will be in your account. Secondly, if you are a person who is not ready to do any work and you don't have a habit of following through process to the very end, grants are not for you. Grants give you a certain discipline in your business and in your personal life, because when you win grants, there's a sort of training that will go through. It could be very rigorous, it could be mild, and every grant you win will have you do these things. So if you're a person and you have a habit of not following through processes, you don't like being told what to do, you don't like deadlines, you don't like being put under strain, don't apply for grants. They are not for you, because every grant you win or you apply for, you're shortlisted for, that's the better word, would have some obligations for you to fill. Those obligations are going to have deadlines, they are going to be structured in a certain way. Like this needs to be in PDF, this one needs to be in MP4, this needs to be this needs to be this size, this needs to be submitted here, this needs to be... If you're that kind of person, it's not a good or a bad thing. Some people just don't like it. If you know yourself, don't bother. Don't just bother. So do you fall into the third category? And these are people who want free money, but they don't have a clear business idea. They just don't want to build anything that is sustainable, like a sustainable venture that will go into the future. They just want this money to maintain a lifestyle, to pay rent, to buy a car, to look a certain way, maintain their image. If you fall into this category, one thing I've noticed about grant application processes, these awarding bodies are not just mechanical about the applications. They'll fish you out. Your intention will just show through everything. There's a certain energy, a certain sort of vibe someone who wants to grow a business carries, and something about them will make them do extra. They'll talk extra, they'll defend their actions extra, they'll defend the need for that grant at an extra level you will not be prepared to do. You might just as well not apply. No time wasting. Fourth set of people, are you here and you don't like writing? Because the truth of the matter is, apart from your application form, there are other things you're going to have to write. For most grants, I have only made a shortlist for one grant that didn't require me to write much apart from the application. After the application, it was like, well, you've won this grant and we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. And after submitting everything, there were a whole lot of us, some might even be watching this video, that organization closed. So I just felt it was a company fishing for data that opened itself up for a grant. For most other grant bodies, you are going to be required to write something down. If you are somebody who does not like to write, and I'm not saying you must be a novelist, you must be an Adichie, an Achebe, a Shoinka, no. You just don't like filling forms, you don't like writing about your business, you don't like writing business service stuff. Grants really aren't for you. Take it from me. The fifth set of people are people who hate record keeping and don't want anyone checking in into how they run their businesses or how they use the grant money. Some of us just don't like people looking over our shoulders or monkeys on our backs. If you're that kind of person who gets irritated and you're like, what right have you to do this, that, just leave it. Because grant awarding bodies, even after the grants are awarded, which we will be discussing, we're checking on you once in a while to know how you're doing. And even before the grants are awarded, you might be required to do certain things, open up your books, present maybe statements, present this, present that. If you know you don't want them, you don't want anybody intruding on your privacy, don't apply for grants. Now, the last but not the least set of people, if you are watching this video and you're comfortable with a small side hustle and you have the interest in scaling, you're happy running the business on your own, don't want to hire no one, you don't want to build systems, maybe build a website, build an e-commerce system, manage dispatch, engage a delivery company or all that, please don't bother applying for grants. And if this is your desire, it is not a bad thing. It's just for you to be very honest with yourself about what you want and stick to it. Grants will need you to scale. To scale, you need to think. There are deep brainstorming sessions that go on in grants that are not for the ordinary. So just maintain your side hustle, be very content and move on. So let's move to the next slide. So now we've discussed the kind of people grants are not for. So who are grants for? And I'll look at the slide. Grants actually are for serious impact-driven founders and small business owners who have clear ideas or existing traction but lack capital, especially innovators building something new or risky. That's self-explanatory. So you're serious about your business. Your business is small, it's growing, and you know where you want this business to be in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But you don't have the capital. Grants are for you. And among these business owners, there are innovators innovating something new. We have them a lot when it comes to tech. You know, this app that can do this new technology that can do this and disrupt this industry. Grants are for you. The second set of people are entrepreneurs who face extra barriers to funding and just need a fair chance to grow. I consider myself in this category because the extra barriers I faced as a business, because mine was a creative business, it's a business that is very hard to justify with loans. And usually in Nigeria's loan structures, you hardly get long-term loans, except when you're going to banks like BOI. And even when you do, the repayment terms might not be what a business like mine needs. So that's where grants really, really help. Let's move on to the next slide. You have to ask yourself what stage is your business. And usually, I'm not going to go too deep because I'm trying to keep this class as elementary as possible. You have to decide, there are usually 4 stages of business. Your business could be in the idea stage. We just talked about them now. People who are thinking of doing something, thinking of building an app, thinking of starting this. So it's still in the idea stage. It hasn't been established. After the idea stage, you move on to the startup stage. So here you've incorporated the business, you've hit the ground running. Things are just here and there. You know, you're just starting. There's hope. Grant awarding bodies love people like you, as long as you can prove that this business has a chance to grow, or capacity, not necessarily chance. Then growth and scale up stage. Grant awarding bodies also like businesses in this category. So you could have grants saying, oh, this business up to so and so years of operation, this. So they see, you know, you've passed startup stage, you've established it, there's proof that your business can grow, and you just need something to expand it, bring in more people, expand your team, maybe invest in technology, maybe invest in logistics and all. That's the growth stage. And maturity stage is, you know, businesses that have really, really established. You think about around us, we just have those business and services we go to. If we think about, say, a fast food chain like Chicken Republic, or someone you've been buying stationery for your children with for like the last 10 years, that supermarket has been in that your neighborhood for the last decade or so. Those businesses are maturity stage businesses, and usually grant awarding bodies do not look look at them because they are past the stage that they would want seed funding. So let's move ahead. Every business that needs grants needs to pay close attention, right? You need to structure your business. But I discovered that when we say business structuring, a lot of people get panicked. I'm going to break it down. Like I said, I need this video or course, whatever you refer to it as, to be very elementary as possible. Now, there are a few things you're going to do. One, you are going to have to incorporate that business. My name is Vivian Uwakwe. I could start a business. I could think of an idea of a business. Maybe I want to do makeup, and then I have 1 or 2 clients there, and I do their hair, and they pay into my personal account. Oh, her name is Vivian. This is her personal account number. Swipe, and the money is there. I'm not running a business. I'm just running a hobby. If I'm looking for grants, I'm going to have to incorporate that business. And incorporating that business, there are 2 levels. There are actually 3, but we're going to discuss. There are 2 levels of incorporation. One is very, 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 very common with Nigerian entrepreneurs. And I'm here to tell you that if you take that pathway, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to grant funding. The second one, on the other hand, is where you should be looking at, and people avoid it. Now, the first level is incorporating your business as an enterprise. So you just have this, and then, you think of a name, you give it to a lawyer, and they just incorporate it for you. You are shooting yourself in the foot, because legally speaking, that enterprise you registered is just you fronting yourself. That's the way legally it's looked at. This is the way not to go when you want to register a business for grants. If you want to position your business for grants, aim to register your company as a limited company, a private limited company. Makeup Gallery and Co. is very different from Makeup Gallery and Co. Limited. The limited could be LTD, it could be LIMITED. Vanishing Brothers is very different from Vanishing Brothers Limited. LTD or Limited spelled out in full. Kinetic Services is very different from Kinetic Services Limited. Your company must be limited to be able to attract grants. The good thing is that incorporation has been so fine-tuned in Nigeria right now that you could have a limited company that has only you as the shareholder. One of my 2 companies has the structure. Why do Nigerians opt for non-limited companies, essentially enterprises above limited? One is cost. Some of you are running away from costs, where probably the lawyer tells you that to register the limited company would be like, say, 100,000, 150, 200,000, whatever it is, depending on the number of shares. And then they tell you, oh, but the enterprise, you could do it for 10K, 50K, and you rush for the enterprise. You are shooting yourself in the foot. Not just because of this grant funding, but for other things as well, because even when it comes to tax, you are going to be taxed as an individual. And remember, we're going there in 2026. The tax veil will be lifted in Nigeria, and you can't run, you can't hide. So you want to position yourself for grants, please do go for a limited company. It gives you more structure. Another reason why Nigerians run away from limited in favor of enterprises is this shareholder thing. So you don't want to bring your brothers on board, you don't have any friends you can trust you can bring on board. Please go for the limited incorporation that permits you as a single person to have a company. I do have now. When you're going to do there's a way to cut down costs on it. You could do it yourself. If you are intelligent, you are Mr. Omix Fix-It, you know how to build building blocks, and you're intelligent enough to know the system. CAC portal is so sophisticated right now that you could go and do it yourself. There are videos on YouTube that have successfully helped people register their own company successfully in Nigeria for peanuts. You could do that for yourself. But if you know and you know and you know, like me, I like fixing things, I like figuring things out, but for certain things I just need a lawyer, and good enough I can afford it. So I use my links to do that. Things like incorporating my business, I would prefer using a lawyer. If you know this is the option you want to do, let me give you a tip. Any lawyer who has successfully registered a business that doesn't have complications should be the one you should go to. Don't go randomly on the internet and just pick anyone to do it. Just pick someone who knows what they are doing. And how do you get these people? There are businesses you visit every day. For me, let me take an example. When I need to print, the printing hub here in Port Harcourt is Dio. open. I work with paper merchants. I work with print services companies. I work with different people. I work with finishers. I work with binders. All these are companies that have been running for years, that pay taxes, that have their annual returns for years. So I can work when I'm in that business circle. Oh, I need a lawyer. They will show me. Oh, I need a tax accountant. They will tell me. Oh, how did you do this? They will tell me. So I encourage you, go within that circle of people running active, not dormant, active businesses. Then another hint, you could go to your bank. There's something very good about bankers. They know these people. They know tax guys. They know people who they corporate businesses for you. They just know because of the nature of their job. Walk into your bank, the bank that you receive, that you have your account, or if you have a banker friend, speak to them. They will give you authentic sources. Trust me on that one. Now, you've had your limited company registered. Take the incorporation documents, which are usually three: your incorporation certificates, your memorandum and articles of association. I've forgotten the third one. You take it into your bank and you open a corporate account for your company. Corporate account. Make sure you do your checks. Don't trust on your bankers to have it 100%. Make sure that the company name when it's open is exactly the way it is written on your incorporation certificate. Let's go back again. You've opened Kinetic Limited or Kinetic Technology Limited or Kinetic Ventures Limited. Make sure that on your bank account, your account name is actually Kinetic Ventures Limited. And if on your incorporation certificate, Kinetic Ventures Limited is spelled Limitted, ensure that on your account it is also Limitted, not Ltd. Like I said, grants have a way of teaching you to be very meticulous. Just make sure, double check. If it is not, tell your account officer to do it again, because they are human, they can make mistakes. So now you've incorporated your company, you have your corporate current account running. And let me touch on this. There's something some business owners do in Nigeria to, again, cut costs. We all know the country, it could be quite difficult, and the business climate could also be very challenging. So they open an account for their company, and it's a savings account. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is what you're going to do instead. When you go to open a corporate account and you are very cautious about costs, because corporate accounts, there are costs to it. There are costs to running it. There are COT, cost of transactions. There are also fixed costs and different costs depending on the transaction and the volume you're doing and the frequency. What you can do, let me tell you a secret. Every bank in Nigeria has this corporate account that is charge free, but you also have to maintain a minimum balance. So like for my bank, I believe that account is a minimum of 100,000 balance. You just have to maintain that balance, and under that balance you'll be charged. So walk into your bank. I assure you, every bank you see in Nigeria has that account, but they'll never push it to you when you come to the counter. They'll push you the other one because they need to make their charges. It's not a charity. A bank is very profit center. So go for that one. Just go and ask them directly, where is that your corporate account where there are no charges? They'll present it to you. Ask them what is the minimum balance. Think about it, is the minimum balance you can maintain. But keep your account up and running and start channeling your customers and your services to your payments to that account. Now, the third thing you're going to have to do is tax compliance. When you register a company, the CAC certificate is going to come with a TIN number, a tax identification number, not for you, for that business. Do not assume you are tax compliant because that TIN number is on your incorporation certificate. You are going to do your homework. You've registered your company, you've opened the account, take that information to your local tax office. And as a business owner, you are going to have to develop a relationship with your local tax office. They are not sharks. Yes, we all do not like to pay tax, and by virtue of that, we don't like taxmen. But you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to go to your tax office or get a contact to your tax office. I've already told you. Your banker, ask them. They have their contacts. or you ask someone who is running a business, who is your tax person, they will tell you. All those people you mix with, they all have their businesses sorted. You're the one who is left out of the game. So go to your tax office. I have this, I've registered this company, this is where I live. Can you register me for tax? Actually, registration for tax, again, like the incorporation of your company, is something you could do by yourself on the tax portal. But in this case, I would really advise you, particularly now that we're moving into a new wave of tax efficiency in Nigeria, go to your tax office and get that sorted. You will get a new number. In fact, if you were, say, operating in Lagos and somehow you moved on to Gombe, you still need to go to Gombe, your local tax office in Gombe, and do this thing. So maybe in years to come it will become centralized, but just to let you know, become tax compliant. Then we move to the next set of documentation. All right, so we've got all that out of the way. You need to prepare some documentation ahead of preparing for grants. Very first one, business plan. Very first one. What is a business plan? Because when we say it, it looks like someone highly skilled and powerful and experienced with an MBA should do. You're not wrong, but it's also something you could wing. You could actually wing it because of the disruption by AI. AI has made everything a hack, something to hack. A business plan essentially is just the story of your business. How you started, where you are, where you're going to. That's essentially what it is. Most business plans have segments. I'll try to put up the segments in this video. You have an executive summary, you have an introduction, you go on and on and on, and then because it's for grants, you have your funding request, and you're going to tell them how you're going to justify the funds if you are given and why you should merit it. And then some documentation to prove your ask, essentially. AI has made business writing so easy, but this is the caveat. Do not just jump into it. I'm going to talk about it later. Do not just jump into AI and tell it, so and so business and I want a business plan, write it. No, you're going to methodically factor in some things and push in some information and review some information and manually assess and manually read through every line to ensure your business plan is tight. You can't fool grant awarding bodies. They are not stupid. No one gets up to just give you millions just because you did absolutely nothing. You are going to have to justify that you deserve that money. So you need to write a business plan for your business. Where are you now? When did you establish? What was the motivation why you established? Where are you now? What are you doing? What do you plan to do? How are you currently marketing? Who are your competitors? What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? What are the legal regulations around your business? It's a definite format, and I will try and put it up here in the video so that you could do it by yourself. You could wing it and then pass it up to a business consultant to read through and finish it up for you. After your business plan, you are going to have to do financial projections for your business. But you need to get your financial statements, your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. Every business has it. If you say you are a business, you have it. Now, when you get this financial statement sorted, they are usually not static. As your business grows, it might change. As the years go on, definitely it might change. It might go up, it might go down, whatever. Figures are never really static when it comes to business. That's why it's a business. Why am I saying this? You might do this now and then you apply for a grant 6 months later. That financial statement might not apply, but you might need to modify. It's a good thing you've got one foot in already, and every knowledge you gain on this journey is very, very important as you go on. After your financial projection, you're going to have to do a pitch deck. You see the slide you're watching in this video now? That's just like the format of a pitch deck, a regular pitch deck. What is a pitch deck? It's extracted from your business plan. You have your business plan already. It's just a snapshot of your business plan in multimedia, PowerPoint presentation, videos. Most of the pitch deck I've submitted and the ones I've done for clients as well have just been in video format, not slide format. So if you do something on PowerPoint slide, you do it on Canva, beautiful cover. This is where our business is at. This is where it started. This is this. These are challenges. This is our SWOT, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These are our competitors. This is how much. This is where we have issues financially. This is how much we're asking you for. If you give us this money, we'll do X, Y, Z, or A, B, C, D, and E. Please, we're happy you're considering us. Look forward to a positive response. That's a slide deck. And I'll have something about slide decks at the end of this video. Now, documents to assemble before applying. You have these 3 documents. You've also done your work, like in the previous slide. Get all these documents together. Your company incorporation documents, get your tax documents, get your, let me take a peek at the other slide, just a sec. Okay, get your corporate account details, get your business plan, get your financial documents, get your pitch deck. But again, every grant might have specifications to a pitch deck. So some grants go ask you for a 2-minute pitch deck, some a 3-minute pitch deck. But the truth is, if you already had a slide, say in Canva, where your pitch deck was designed already, and you're asked for a 3-minute pitch deck, and you look at the timeline and that grant is like 5 minutes, you will know the slides to remove and make it 3 minutes. And then you could also redesign it to fit the grant. So you get these 6 basic documentations. Then ensure you have an ID that is recognized, a national ID recognized by the Republic of Nigeria. And 4 come to my mind. First of all is your driver's license. Secondly, your international passport. If you don't have it, your voter's registration card and your national ID. Your name, make sure it is the plastic card. Even the digital one could serve. But I think right now they started rolling out plastic cards. I don't have one, but just make sure. And I had an interaction with a grant applicant, and they said something about this plastic one. So these are 4 options. Get one. Just get one. If you don't have one now, please work on one. So your signature sample. I forgot to touch on this. Please, right from the time you incorporate your company, make sure your signature is consistent across every document you need to sign. Every document, even on your grant application form, make sure that the signature on it is the same on your ID, whichever ID you choose. Make sure, in fact, make it a habit. Like I said, grant training makes you a better person. It makes you a more compliant person, a legally conscious person. Just make sure your signatures are the same. Also have a passport photo. It could be in digital form because nobody really does paper these days. So get a good passport photo on a white background or a bright background, and look good. Look into the camera. Just reserve it for your grant application. So let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about your social media presence. This is one aspect of grant application some people are not taking seriously, but this could do all the talking for you and let you have one foot in to the grant application process. More and more organizations are getting more interested in your digital footprints on social media. I think the top 5 or 6 are Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. So these are the top 6. You don't need to be on every platform, but you need to choose one and be consistent with it. You need to, for me, I would recommend a combination of 2. If you ask me personally, it depends on the business. But for me, pick LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is not, okay, we'll get to that. So pick LinkedIn for me, pick Facebook, and pick Instagram. Because TikTok is good, but use it as a secondary social media presence. Twitter, to use it as a secondary social media presence. Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please take this 3 serious. Now, fix any existing platforms. You might have a social media platform that was open for your company, but we are seeing Ashwebi videos there. We are seeing wedding videos there. We are seeing funeral videos there or posts. We are seeing, posts of sentimental values there. That does not describe your business presence, or that does not portray or show or represent your business presence. You're going to want to have posts there about what you're doing. So let's think of a name. Maybe Finity Apparels might actually be a tailoring brand. I'm not saying fashion designer. It might be a tailoring brand that is opening up. It has a mission or a vision to open up its services to tailors that need to sew ready to wear in bulk quantities. Your social media presence is not going to be about who wore this clothes, who did this, who did that. You're going to have posts talking to your target audience. Oh, you need to make 10 dresses going to China, it will cost you so and so. But if you come to us, it's going to, you cut it less, you get it in better time. Oh, look at what we did for this customer. Testimonials from customers. Make it, streamline it to your business. Please don't play about this. You have a mechanic shop, an auto store you want to open up. Maybe you want to open up your services to more people. Today you're talking about the gears, how to maintain gears, the best gear oil. Tomorrow you're talking about tires, what you should do, what kind of jack you should have, how you should change your tires after X so number of months or years. You know, the works. We're rainy season, your windscreen, your wiper, if it's this, you should change to this. It could, if you use this, after 2 months, you could start scratching your windshield. So those are the kind of posts we want to see. Business-related posts. Just stick to the schedule. Just stick to it. And make sure you do it routinely. Do not post in January and the next post is going to be in August. It doesn't count. Be consistent. Separate your personal from your business. Have your personal, even with your personal, just be a bit careful when you want to apply for grants. Even when you post, maybe you make social commentary, you could once in a while just archive those comments so that it's not like visible on the page. Just maintain decorum. Maintain decorum. You are looking for grants. Grants are awarding bodies too are looking for certain kinds of people to associate with. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's move to the next slide. How to find grants. How do you find grants? It's very easy. You can Google them, or you could do an AI search for it. Look for grants available to Nigerians. Let's talk about tips selecting the right grant for you. The first tip I'm going to give is know whether you're a profit business or an NGO. There are different kinds of grants for you, and I tell you, grant awarding bodies either do this or this. They don't do both. So they offer grants either to NGOs or they offer to profit-based businesses. They hardly offer to the two types. Let's go down the list. Grants with application fees. I'll be very careful about applying for them. It's tricky. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. Sometimes those application fees are not necessarily because the organization needs the money. It's to weed out the number of applicants. But this is what I'm going to say. If the fee, look at your business turnover and determine from the profit, not the revenue, from your business profit, what amount it is that if you part with it, it wouldn't mean a thing because it's your business that is paying for this grant. So if a grant application fee is 500 naira, 1,000 naira, but where it's like 100,000, you're a startup or you're in growth, you're going to have to think if your business is not generating so much profit. Is 250, 100,000, even 50,000, is it something you could afford to gamble? You alone have the answer to that question. And when you find the answer, it will tell you. Then again, for grants with application fees, look at the past winners. 7 degrees of separation. You might be surprised you know one of them. So you could call and ask for their opinion. Figure out if the people issuing these grants have integrity, if they are transparent, if the chances of winning are high, then go ahead. With all your documentation, you stand a good chance. And if you've really prepared a good pitch, you also do. Grants with narrow pool of final qualifiers. This is how I'm going to describe that. There's a grant I did not apply for this year, but I presented that grant to some people in my brainstorming group, and one of them applied for it, and I'm glad she's in final stage right now. Now, what do I mean by narrow pool of final qualifiers? Let's pick a figure. 200,000 people apply for this grant. It's not a grant that requests fees. When 500,000 people, for example, apply for this grant, they request that before you apply it, you have to open an account with a certain bank. Now, they narrow this, that everybody who has applied has opened an account with this bank. They narrow it down to say 1,000 people. And then these 1,000 people are drilled through a school, a training process. And then finally 50 people are going to win this grant. And among these 50 people, maybe only 3 will come out with what I consider reasonable cash money. and then the other 50 will just go home with the other 47 or thereof will go on with some consolation prizes. You really need to think, is this grant worth it? Did I not apply for that grant because I thought I wouldn't make the final list? No, I just didn't apply for that grant because there was something about the final pool, number in the final pool, and the quality of grants that will be won that just didn't sit right with me. Would I still share that grant when it comes out next year? Absolutely, I'm going to encourage anyone to. But grants are very personal. The decision is very personal. So you need to think, what are the chances? But I tell you, if you've already prepared all the records and the documentation and taken all the steps, you have actually increased your chances. Like you're the 5% that have tripled your chances of making the shortlist for that grant. And again, like the grant I mentioned, is free. So you didn't lose anything. You just invested your time and energy for the chance to win. So let's discuss about grants for artists. There are two categories of grants, two broad categories. The first are personal grants and the next ones are business grants. Personal grants are given to you to solve a personal need. They are not as rigorous as business grants. They don't have those requirements of you opening a business, what you might need to do as an artist. You might need to prove yourself as an artist, write an artist statement, present your work, present your portfolio, and then be considered for a personal grant recognition. Many personal grants support things like education, training, just your general livelihood. It could also, like if you're an artist in academia, it could support research, just general hardship relief. Some personal grants were granted during COVID for artists whose studios closed down during COVID. Then there's not much accountability, so to say, required after personal grants are given to you. There's no official documentation. There's usually not checking up on you. There's no follow-up process. Now let me explain business grants, the focus of this grant training. Business grants are given to registered businesses. I'm going to explain it later. But I want to tell you that personal grants are actually better for many visual artists. But again, because of the limited opportunity, I had waited so long to get personal grants. Then along the way, I had to start structuring my company and positioned it as a business grant. Right now, as I'm recording this video, there's a visual grant available. It's called the Prince Claus Fund. It's a very huge grant, about 5,000 euros. It comes up every year. I would encourage every visual artist to go for it. It's in one of the packages I'm going to present at the end of this video. Now, when it comes to business grants, there is an organization in Nigeria which you might want to look into, and that's the Creative Economic Development Fund grant. I missed that grant in 2025. I intend to explore it in 2026 because I'm still a practicing artist. Why did I miss it? It came in two phases. The first phase was targeting bigger businesses generating revenues of tens of millions and hundreds of millions of naira. The big guns. And there was supposed to be a second stage, but there's one thing I like about CEDF. CEDF also provides grants, and you could tell them whether you want loans in 2026. I will be exploring it. And that is an example of a business or organization-oriented grant targeted towards artists. If I were an artist, I would welcome it with two arms wide and go for it. As time goes on, I'm going to make a separate video about CEDF, particularly when I go through the application process. I will be able to share my own experience as someone who's run that race, basically. If you are going to position as an NGO, like I said, I'm still going to get into it. Frame your art as having community or cultural impact. You have a clear proposal, a project you want to pursue. Go through a registration process. Register your NGO very, very properly. There are very many different things when it comes to NGO registration and business registration. And just show you're sustainable and you're going to benefit the community around you or Nigeria as a whole. It's not just about art. When you start applying for grants, it's not just about art. People want sustainability. They want something that could run into the foreseeable future. So if you're a visual artist like me, you can improve your grant winning chances in 2 ways. Something about visual artists is that you could qualify in 2 ways. You could present your business as an NGO. So from Incorporation, you register it as an NGO and you make sure you have social impact. And I'll go down to explain. Or you could, like me, register it as profit-centered business. As an NGO, what do? You are visual artists. You go to schools, maybe in the remote areas, and you teach children a certain craft. You've invested in the youth. You've done this like 4, 5, 6 times a year. And when I say visual artists, fashion designers fall in this category. Some graphic artists, graphic artists fall in this category. Anything that is visual, ceramists fall in this category. Even print supplies sometimes. They work naturally with graphic artists. Makeup artists are visual artists, So you could fall into it. So your makeup, somebody was telling me the other day, she's a fashion designer, and she went to her LGA and she did 1 or 2 things there. And I told her you could structure this. She's waiting for this video, so she'll have it very soon. What is the other way a visual artist could find an appropriate grant if it is profit centered? Like for me, you must really think about scaling. How can you scale your work? How do you do it in such a way that it's not just one painting hanging in a gallery and you're expecting a prospect to come and buy it for 5 million and you've waited for that prospect for the last 10 years? That is not scaling. You have to think of ways to make your art commercially available, like I have done. So I've made my art available in, I think, about 4 ways. 1, I offer it as a service to other indie authors, children's picture book authors who need illustrations. I also offer, or as a company, we offer books formatting services. So you have your book, you need it laid out in a certain way. You want a cover, you want this, you want the title page, the dedication page. We do that for you, and we're able to do it whichever part of the world you're from. There are other services we do. We teach, we do book launches. Now we also have our books, which we're known for, but behind all that, there's still a lot of things. So for books, there's sale, there are listings in bookshops and all. So that is why you're creative. You need to figure out a way. And then in doing all the things, you are documenting, you are putting it up on social media. There's a track, there's a digital foot record for you. You might have you go a website, you have regular activities that show you are growing a business. So that's the little note I want to put for visual artists. Now, age advantage for you. Are you under 35 or maybe under 30 watching this video? Your chances of winning grants are huge. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are probably on a 7 for winning grants, because most grants, if you look at the word youth, young people, that phrase or those words keep coming up in grants. Grants favor the young. 18 to 25 to 30, sometimes 35. You are hot cake. You're sitting on a gold mine. Harvest it, tap into it, apply. You lose this year, apply next year. You lose again, apply again. One of the grants I won this year, I'd apply for it 6 times. If you have youth, you have the advantage of even applying 10 times till you get it right. Keep applying. Sector advantage for women-led businesses. Many grants since I think in the last 7 years or thereabout, I might be wrong, have been targeted towards women. In fact, there are grants that anytime they come out, men can't apply. Can think of almost like 3 right straight off the bat. I'm not going to mention it here. These grants are specifically for women. Tap into it. Once you hear women, you're a woman. And again, if you're a woman and you're youth, like you're a woman, you're under 30, you're under 35. Men, the sky is the limit. Grab it with both hands. Now, sector advantage for agricultural businesses. Again, people in the agricultural sector watching this video, you have a lot of grants waiting for you. Agriculture is one sector that many grant awarding organizations want to promote. There are organizations just built for agriculture, businesses in agriculture, and it's not about just planting crops. Maybe you grow maize, you grow cassava, or you do snail, or you do fish. There are certain things. Do you do forage? Are you the agricultural businesses that produce grass for livestock, because right now, particularly in this country, ranching is a huge opportunity. Do you grow grass so that herders will not need to take their animals around? That's one opportunity. Do you grow worms? Do you grow larvae? Do you grow those kind of feeds? Instead of feeding their fish for people who do fish ponds and other things, instead of feeding them the manufactured feeds, they might resort to biological feeds like worms. And such businesses, they don't even have the threshold to take on more customers. So they might be, if you're one of those, you might need grants for expansion. Agriculture comes in different ways. Are you the person in agriculture who ensures that fresh harvest is brought from the farms to the marketplace? You might need a grant. Maybe you work with a dairy farm and you're the one who takes the milk to companies or to the vendors that need it. There are many agricultural sectors or agricultural businesses that are not just the usual common thing you and I think about. Green businesses. So when you think of green, you think clean, you think solar. That's why green businesses and clean tech are almost the same. So are you one of these businesses? Again, in the last decade, these businesses have grant awarding bodies have been opening special deals for these businesses. Another huge one is IT. IT and AI go together. IT and AI. Are you developing a solution that would need AI deployment or IT deployment? Keep your eyes open. That's one sector where you don't need to look too hard to find a grant. There are some sectors where like it's a needle in a haystack, but I assure you this is not one. So let's go to the next slide. How to apply. You see all the documents I've mentioned. If you put all of them in a folder, all of them, as you get one, put in a folder. As you get one, put in that same folder. You could just label that folder grants. I have folders like that on my computer and on my laptop. Open your grant application form and apply. I tell you that when you do this, it saves a lot of time. It cuts your time in half. And then because you have something like your business plan, when you go to a grant application form and they're asking you certain things, you just need to look at your business plan. In some cases, copy and paste. And in some cases, you don't need to start thinking too much. You don't need to start crafting a new line. You just copy and you paste. And even when you need to adjust a bit, it's just a little here and there and you get it. So maybe from your business plan is 700 words and you need a 200 word thing. Just do it. Very snappy. Cut your time in half. Someone else who didn't do what you did will now remember, oh, I didn't incorporate my company. Oh, let me call my lawyer. Oh, it's going to take 3 weeks. Oh, it's going to take 2 months to do it. You just get on with it. Just get on with it. Aligning your request to the grant fund is very fundamental. At the end of every form, you're going to have to justify why you need that organization to consider your request. Now, let's take an example. You are running a phone repair business, or let's take it a bit further. Maybe you make shoes and you're applying for a grant of 1 million. Maybe you don't even make shoes. Okay, maybe you're a cobbler. Let's take that example. And this grant is for 1 million. And you go into the justification and then you start saying things like, oh, I'm going to need to hire 15 workers. I'm going to need to build a tannery to dye leather. There's a machine I'm going to import from China and it's going to help me roll out 10,000 shoes every week. I believe you've just shot yourself in the foot. Because the truth is, what most people don't know is that the people who are behind these grant awarding organizations are very skilled and very experienced people. They are not silly. 10 workers, for example, or 15 workers. How much is the minimum legal wage in Nigeria? How would 1 million help you pay the salaries of 15 workers for a year or for 2? It doesn't make any sense. The natural assumption is that you are inflating your request and you're not justifying your request. And there goes your application into the recycle bin. You want to import this machinery. You want to build a tannery because you're a cobbler and you think after paying 15 workers their salary, you're going to have enough to build a tannery, get people to manage it and all. It doesn't make any sense. You want to import this machine from China. Okay, you mentioned this machine and then you're saying the cost of the machine, they convert it to foreign currency. It's like 3 times the 1 million you're asking for. for, or the grant has to offer you, then maybe the grant is not for you. But another cobbler goes there and says, I've run out of tools, I need to employ one staff, and I need to move to a new office complex. I've run out of tools, the new tools I need are this, and it's going to cost 300,000. I need to employ one staff, and his total salary in a year is going to cost me, say, 400 or 600. I need a new office, and the space we are managing now is just behind my house. If I can just go across the street, the landlord is ready to rent it for 400. I think what I've mentioned now is actually more than 1 million, but it's close to, but the person is able to adjust to that 1 million request. That person already has a foot in. So these are things you have to consider. You really have to justify your ask, because some asks are very inflated and very unreal. Then that's when you don't even make the shortlist. So let's move on. So yippee, you've gotten shortlisted. What exactly is a shortlist? Now, some people actually think that when you make the shortlist, that you have won the grant, but the shortlist is actually the first announcement telling you that we liked your application, we need to know more. That's basically what a shortlist is. And after a shortlist, there's a note here saying how to increase your chances of being shortlisted. How do you increase your chances of being shortlisted? You've already done it already. That's why I keep repeating the documentation process, the application process. The documentation process shortens the application process, solidifies the application, and then you've increased your chances of making the shortlist. Because this, look at the person assessing the forms. The person has been flipping through, seeing shoddy applications one after the other one, and then the person just sees this one that is so detailed, so organized. Music to their ears. You're in. That's how you increase your chances. But the shortlist is usually the first list. After the shortlist, there's usually a final list. So let's keep moving. So what happens after a shortlist? Usually, which brings us to point number 2. After a shortlist, there's a mandatory business training. I've only applied for one grant that did not need a mandatory business training. More will have mandatory business, and in addition to that, have a sort of verification of those documents you submitted earlier. They will re-verify it. That is it. The mandatory business training could be 1 week, could be 1 month, could be several months, or just get prepared. And you could ask final participants. You could also research the grant awarding body, go to their YouTube page, see what's going on. There's always a track record. Even if it's a new grant, there's a way to find out this information that it's not really a hidden thing. The actual grant disbursement will come after that training and after they re-verified the documents you submitted in the beginning. Then the grant disbursement will come. So making the shortlist is not necessary. Then there's a final shortlist after that. Then the grant will be disbursed. But what happens after the grant is disbursed? That's another journey, another part to your journey. So what to do after you win a grant? Usually when a grant is disbursed, you sign an undertaking. What you said you use the money for, you will use the money for that. And then grant bodies usually keep tabs with you, and hello, what are you doing? Can we come visit? Since we discussed the grant, what has happened to your business? Yada 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 yada. So there's usually a check, and then it continues. And with this, we have concluded the grant process. But what if after all this you did not win, you did not make the shortlist, or you made the shortlist, you did not make the finalist? I have something for you. You see, in life, you have to manage your expectations. We are a very religious nation. We go by faith, it must work, God forbid. But sometimes, particularly in business, you really have to think, what if it goes the other way? And that's where risk management comes in. But personally, you need to know how to manage your expectations. You really know how to manage your expectations. Give your all into every grant application you're going to make, and if it doesn't fall through, it is not personal. Manage your emotions. Don't put out hate comments. Don't disregard or degrade the organization, or tell people it's a scam. I had a conversation with an acquaintance of mine where she mentioned that somebody went on a social media platform and cursed this grant application body. She said everything unsayable about it. And when she, it piqued her interest, and she started asking her different questions and realized she was shortlisted. She never fulfilled the mandate degree training, so she wasn't entitled to whatever grants they were offering. And she got mad, and that's why those things were coming out of her. Forgetting that, which is where I'm going, you can utilize your experience and apply again, because these windows of opportunity of grants keep coming up annually. Many of these organizations, Cartier, the Tony Elumelu, the Flourish Alakijas, the Access Bank grants, all of them do this every year. These foundations have been established. High Cool, MSME, the Creative Enterprise Development Fund started this year. But by next year, I'm sure there'll be another round. Nip it, manage your emotions, manage your expectations, redeploy that experience. And I tell you what, if you do it right the first time, even if you didn't win that particular grant on your mind, you could use it for other grants and you will be shortlisted. You'll be shocked. So manage your expectations, manage your emotions. If you don't want, just try again. Just try again. Try with different grants. Just keep repeating. You'll snag one, I promise you. And you would learn how to restructure your business. Some people have gone through grant processes and realized they didn't even need grants. I had a story like that. Someone applied for grants. She didn't win. She did go through she was shortlisted. She went through the management training and realized, oh my goodness, what I just needed was better marketing and how to book orders in advance. And so let's assume that person was a cake maker. As Christmas was coming, she placed orders on time, and people who booked beforehand gave her enough capital to go to the market, buy things and stock her pantry. So in the long run, even when December came and prices had increased, she made a profit. Spot on. Entered the new year with profit. She just realized, how much are they even going to give me in the grants? If I get X number of, if the grant was say for 5 million, if I get X number of clients to book in advance, I'll be smiling to the bank with about 30 million in pure profit. Imagine people who went through this process and got their businesses right and probably did not even win any grants. Do you know that just because of the business structuring, by next year when we're entering into the real tax realm of Nigeria, they are ready. They are not panicky about anything because their business structures, their tax compliance has already been established. It's a win, whichever way you look at it. So thank you very much. We've come to the end of this class, and I have some resources for you, and I'm going to run through it. This video is on the YouTube page. Every resource, the link to every resource here is below my YouTube channel or below the video, just in the description section. But you could also go to my personal website, vivianuwakwe.com/grants, and you're going to get these 10 things. One, this particular slides used in this presentation, you'll get it as a PDF and a PowerPoint format. And you will get enrolled to my monthly newsletter for useful information. What I intend to do is once every month, I'll just send you a list of grants that are available, and you can go ahead and apply. It's very simple. Now, number 3 is the Care Stories Response. This is 680 non-refundable business grants in Nigeria. This is the largest database I know that exists right now that has actual grants you can apply to. There are grants in this book for every sector, whether it's agriculture, tech, health, infrastructure, renewable energy, creative arts. Artists, you're going to love this. Education and agribusiness. The grants have been filtered according to category. You just apply, whether it's grants for business. Some NGO grants are here. Some personal grants are also in this book. If you're a Nigerian living in Nigeria or any part of the world, many of these grants are applicable to you. There are several grants for women, for youths, whoever. The good thing is that if you have access to it, once we update, you'll get notified. So we hope that from 680 we could go to 1,000 plus 2,000, whatever grants are available. We keep updating this book. So go grab yours now. Just click the link and go and grab yours, or just go to the website. It's a lifetime value for just a. For the grants that have a regular date of release every year, their dates are also included in this book. You get links to just click, you choose a grant, it covers your business, you're interested, you just click one click, it sends you to the website where you could just apply or make direct inquiry from the grant awarding body. This is a no-brainer. The average Nigerian you ask thinks there's just one grant or 2 grants or 3. Many Nigerians cannot list more than 3 grants on the average, but there are about 680 available to all of us, and the list is growing. So whatever you do, get this book before the new year. It's on discount now, and the price might just be adjusted very soon. We just want to give everyone goodwill towards the end of this year and the beginning of next year, so that everybody, every Nigerian can get access to non-refundable grants and just grow their business based on free capital. Rush. The fourth thing you're going to get is the best grant book that has ever been written by a Nigerian who taught me personally. She did the hand-holding. You will get to know her course. But that book should be in every business owner's library. For me, if Amazon channels were very sophisticated in Nigeria, that book will definitely be a bestseller. It contains everything. In fact, if you get that book, it's really going to be very hard for you to not get a grant if you go through it page by page, and it's so simplified, you wouldn't have issues. She does hold her course once every while, and do mention my name at the checkout. I get a commission if you do it that way. So the fifth thing I'm going to do is to tell you the two people I think are my favorite grant coaches in Nigeria. I'm going to analyze them and tell you my own personal opinion about them. One is the same person who wrote the book I'm going to recommend to you. The second one is the person, that kind of coach that you say, if I had to do it all over again, I will do it. So that's it. The sixth thing I'm going to do, all the characters, the cartoon characters used in this presentation, the guy and the girl, I'll give you a free pack of PNGs. You could use it to practice, to make a presentation, because there's going to be a video about this later. The seventh, I'm going to give you a link. I do not do personal consultations for a reason. Why? Because my hands are always full. I'm running my business. But then again, there are just some people who are like, we really want you, blah, 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 blah. So I have a link. If you need to book a personal consultation with me, it is paid. So I'll send you the seller link. It will be below this video or on my page, vivianuwakwe.com/grants. Then, because you are subscribed to my newsletter, there are 3 upcoming videos and you'll get notification for them. The first video is going to tell you or teach you how to use AI to speed up your grant applications and boost your chances. We are in the age of AI. Technology has been disrupted. It will be a shame, a total shame, that you did not use them to shorten your time and boost your chances. I'm going to tell you the areas you can use them and what it can do for you. Now, number 9, I'm going to send you a notification for another video when it's ready, which will be shortly after this. How to create your business pitch deck with 100% free tools. Remember the pack of all these characters that I sent you? You're going to use it to create your pitch deck. But even if you do not have the pack, I'm also going to teach you where to get free photos. I'm going to introduce you to a tool that will make it free. Everything you're going to use to do your pitch deck is free. Absolutely free. Everything. That's it. And even if you need help later on, you could easily get a video editor. Send your files off to the person and the person will do it for you. But I'm going to teach you how to do this entirely for free. Then number 10, I'm going to teach you how to write your business plan with AI and save hours of work. Remember, the first one is how to speed your grant application. This last one is how to write your business plan, your company business plan. So your business plan will be unique, tailored specifically to your company. You just need to know what to do. And with this, I say a very big thank you for listening to this long 1-hour video. If you're here by this time, I just believe in you. I believe you know what you want to achieve, and it is my prayer that you will achieve it and win that stand-up grant and come and share with us. The comment section of this video is open. Please leave your questions there, and from time to time I'm going to respond to questions from participants. Thank you very much. God bless you, and see you again in the subsequent videos. Bye-bye. Subscribe.